My name is Jessica. I'm 34 years old, and I live in Austin, Texas. I work as a marketing manager at a big tech company. On the surface, my life seems perfect. A stable career, a beautiful home in the suburbs, two beloved dogs, and most importantly, a loving husband, Mark. We've been together for 8 years, and in that time, he's become my best friend, my rock. Mark is the kind of person who has always been there for me, supporting every idea I had, even when they sounded completely crazy. He's patient, caring, and has always tried to make me happy. And that's exactly why what I did feels even more terrible. A few months ago, my best friend Emily suggested we go on a girls' trip to Miami. She was celebrating her birthday and insisted that we had to let loose like we used to in the good old days. Mark couldn't come with me because of work, but he was completely supportive of my idea to take a break. He even helped me pack my suitcase, joking that I'd finally get a chance to unplug from work and enjoy some time with my friends. "You deserve this," he said, kissing me before I left. At that moment, I had no bad intentions whatsoever. I just wanted to have a good time, relax, and come back home feeling refreshed. But life has a strange way of testing our boundaries. The first day in Miami was perfect. We tanned on the beach, laughed, and took a ton of pictures. I felt light and free, like I was a college girl again, unburdened by work, responsibilities, or routine. That evening, we decided to go to one of the hottest clubs on South Beach. I put on my favorite black dress, one I hadn't worn in ages, and as I looked at myself in the mirror, I suddenly felt desirable and confident, like I was 20 again. The club was stunning: bright lights, loud music, expensive cocktails. The girls and I laughed, danced, and for the first time in a long while, I wasn't thinking about anything except the present moment. And that's when I saw him. He was standing by the bar, tall, fit, dressed in an expensive suit, with that kind of effortless smile that makes your heart skip a beat. Our eyes met, and he smiled at me. I should have looked away. I should have ignored it, but I didn't. He walked up to me, confident, deliberate, like he knew exactly what he was doing. "First time here?" he asked. I nodded, feeling a tightness in my chest. His voice was deep, calm, and his gaze so intense that I could barely find the words to respond. My name was Jessica. His was Ryan. He was from New York, a businessman in town for a work trip. We started talking, and to my surprise, the conversation felt effortless. His compliments weren't forced. His eyes were sharp, attentive. He laughed at my jokes, leaned in closer, and with every small move he made, the world around me seemed to fade away. My friends were already on the dance floor, but we stayed at the bar. I had another cocktail, then another, and with each sip, my sense of responsibility to Mark grew weaker. I wasn't thinking about him, about our years together, about his trust in me. In that moment, there was only me and Ryan. The music was loud, but all I could hear was his voice. His hand brushed against mine, and I didn't pull away. Then we stepped outside, onto the club's terrace, where it was quieter, where our shadows flickered under the neon lights. "You're special," he said, looking straight into my eyes. And even though I knew he had probably said those words to 100 women before me, at that moment, I believed him. I don't know the exact moment it happened. The moment I crossed that invisible line between harmless flirting and something far more dangerous. We were still standing on the club's terrace, the ocean breeze playing with my hair, and Ryan was close, too close. I could feel the warmth of his body, the scent of his cologne, rich, smoky, with hints of wood and tobacco. He reached out, gently tucked a strand of my hair behind my ear. It was such a simple gesture, yet it made my knees weak. I didn't step back. I didn't say no. I knew that if I pulled away right then, nothing would happen. But I didn't. The next thing I remember, we were leaving the club. His hand rested on my back, guiding me through the crowd. And I let him. The only thought pulsing in my mind: this is just a moment. This doesn't change anything. We got into a cab. I should have said, "No, take me to my hotel." I should have pulled out my phone, seen Mark's message wishing me good night, and snapped back to reality. But I didn't check my screen. I leaned back against the seat, feeling the mix of alcohol and adrenaline rushing through my veins. The hotel was stunning. Grand lobby, marble floors, golden chandeliers. We stepped into the elevator, and as the doors closed, Ryan leaned in and kissed me. I should have pushed him away, but I didn't. The keycard clicked in the door. The room was dark, and I knew if I took one more step, there'd be no turning back. But I took that step. The door clicked shut behind us, and silence filled the space between me and Ryan. My heart pounded, my thoughts tangled between, this is wrong, and I want this. He stepped closer, running his fingers lightly over my wrist, as if waiting to see if I'd pull away. But I didn't. His touch sent a shiver through me, and the warmth of his body was too tempting to ignore. He leaned in, his lips brushing softly against my neck, his breath warm against my skin. My body trembled with anticipation, and I closed my eyes, letting myself forget, just for a moment. When he looked at me again, I saw it in his eyes. Desire, an unspoken invitation. This was the moment I could still walk away, say no, grab my things and leave. But I did not. His hands wrapped around my waist, pulling me closer. Our lips met, slow at first, but deepening with every passing second. His touch was dangerous, intoxicating, making me forget the man waiting for me at home. The man who loved me with his whole heart. His fingers trailed down my back, unzipping my dress. The fabric slipped from my shoulder, and as he kissed my collarbone, I felt something inside me break. I knew that after this, nothing would ever be the same. But in that moment, I didn't care. We fell onto the bed, our bodies entwined, and I let myself dissolve into the feeling. He was strong, confident, and every move he made told me he knew exactly what he was doing. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't analyzing. I was just lost in the moment, knowing that this night would become my biggest mistake. His hands were firm, insistent, yet he moved slowly, as if stretching out the moment, igniting every nerve in my body. His lips left heated trails down my neck, lower, and my breath turned into shallow, ragged sighs. His touch traced a deliberate path across my skin, pulling me further from reality. My fingers slid over his shoulders, feeling the tension in every muscle. The strength, the hunger. Ryan knew exactly what he was doing, and every move of his dragged me deeper into this madness. He lifted my hands above my head, as if silently telling me to surrender completely. His gaze was burning, certain. No hesitation, no doubt. In this moment, I belonged to nothing but this. The past, the future, none of it mattered. I heard him whisper my name, his lips tracing along my jaw, before finding mine again. Our bodies melted together, our movements growing faster, the energy between us bursting into flames. Unstoppable, uncontrollable. Time dissolved. The world outside this room ceased to exist. All that remained were the sensations. The tension building, cresting with every touch. And then an explosion. The world shattered into a million fragments. I lay there, my heart still pounding in erratic rhythm, my breath heavy, my body wrapped in the lingering heat. Ryan ran a hand over my face, smiling, but I couldn't smile back, because suddenly, everything that had happened just moments ago came crashing down on me like an avalanche. It happened. I did this. And now, as the intoxication of passion faded, I began to realize the full weight of what I had done. Something terrible. I lay on the bed, my body still pulsing from what had happened. But inside, a cold emptiness was beginning to spread. Ryan's fingers traced lightly over my shoulder, as if trying to hold on to the moment. But I couldn't return his touch. I turned my head away, staring into the darkness beyond the window. Somewhere out there was my home, my husband, my world, the one I had just shattered with a single reckless decision. My fingers clenched the sheets, as if I could hold on to this moment and force it to become just a dream, one that would disappear when I woke up. You okay? Ryan leaned in, his voice calm, maybe even a little self-satisfied. I forced myself to nod, even though panic was already clawing at my insides. I did it. I betrayed Mark. I wanted to move, to get up, but my body felt heavy, weighed down by the chains of my own choices. I reached for my phone, and as I picked it up, I saw a few unread messages lighting up the screen. Good night, my love. Hope you're having a great time. I love you. How was your night? Did you fall asleep? Text me when you wake up. The words hit me harder than any slap ever could. I pictured Mark at home, lying alone in our bed, thinking of me, trusting me. Suddenly, the air in the room felt suffocating. I have to go, I said quickly, sitting up, avoiding Ryan's eyes. Wait. He reached out, fingers brushing against my wrist. Don't leave so fast. But I couldn't stay here another second. I slipped back into the same dress that, just hours ago, had made me feel beautiful. Now it felt heavy, like it was soaked in sin. I didn't look back. I didn't say another word. The door clicked shut behind me, and I rushed into the dimly lit hotel hallway. My heart pounding, my mind spinning with one desperate question. What have I done?